Hello, welcome to another episode of Single Black Gay Dad. So I wanted to do a video and talk to you guys about dating as a single parent.
Single Black Gay Dad.
My analytics show that only 25% of you who view my channel are subscribed. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. How do you juggle your responsibilities of being a single parent and finding a way to have a love life? So a lot of times the answer is I don't. I haven't seriously dated in over 5 years. The last time I dated was before I had my twins, and that was a hot mess. I was dating a guy who was a few years younger than me, but he was very, very, very immature. And I was at a point in my life, I was 30, he was 27, and I wanted to settle down, have kids, and he was not about that life. He didn't want to get married. He didn't want to have kids. He just wanted to sit around and play video games all day, and that was not what I wanted to do in my life. So unfortunately, I had to get out of that toxic situation, and I had to leave him, and I had to do it on my own. A lot of people commend me for that to this day. They're like, you are so brave that you were willing to end the relationship on the account of something you really wanted. And it's like, why wouldn't you? If you want something that bad, why would you be with someone who stunts your growth and stunts and takes away things that you really want for yourself? And for me, no man or no love period is even worth that, because love, in my opinion, should elevate you and should push you to be the best version of yourself. You should love yourself enough to be with someone who loves you enough, who wants to push you and see you do better and see you be happy. It's like, if there's someone that's around you that doesn't want you to be happy, they're not the one for you. And if you don't want the same things, they're not the one for you. And kids and marriage are things that you can't meet halfway on. It's either you want it or you don't, and you're with someone who wants those things, or they don't. You can't want kids and be with someone who don't want kids. Like, that's not gonna work, you know? So that ended, and after all that ended, years later, you know, he still wanted me back, and I had my kids, and he's like, oh, I love you so much, I'm willing to accept you and your kids. Like, that's not how that works. On the account of he didn't want me to have kids and he didn't want kids, I would never trust you around my children, like, ever. Not to mention, even aside of that, I don't trust dudes around my kids, period. There are too many pedophiles out here. There are too many weirdos, too many crazy people. I don't like men up in my house. I don't want men meeting my children. My kids are 3 years old, and no man has ever met them at all. I think Caribbean and Southern culture, we call our mom's boyfriends uncle. So it's like a lot of us grew up with like 15 different uncles. Like, that is not what I want for my children. Like, I don't want my children getting attached to a bunch of different dudes and then turn around and he's gone. Like, these dudes don't even pass the smell test. Like, they don't get past like the first base, and yet they want to meet your kids. Like, no. And I know so many girls that are single parents, and they meet a guy like after one date or even chatting online, and they got the dude sleeping over, coming over, meeting their kids. Like, are you crazy? Like, no. I could never. Like, I'm honestly horrified at the thought. And to be honest, I'm like, I have needs. I'm a human being. I have needs. Sometimes I need to get it in, you know? And when I do that, it's usually at his house. If it happens to be at my house, it's after the kids are sleeping. And no, you're not meeting them. Like, that's not what's happening. Like, you're not someone that's in my life. It's nothing serious. Like, I don't want you meeting my children. So I get two kinds of crowds when it comes to me being a single parent. I get the guys who are like, yeah, there's a group of gays who are anti-children, like they don't want to have children at all. And that's fine. Children are not for everyone, and I totally understand that. And they're like the gays who are like, why'd you go do that? Like, why would you want to have kids? Like, you're gay. I'm like, so because I'm gay, I shouldn't want to have a family of my own. I should just be okay with doing drugs and being in the club and going to bathhouses and sex parties. Like, that's what y'all thought like life was. Like, that's not for me. I need more. It can be a real hot mess. So I get that crowd of dudes who are like, yeah, I want kids and I want to be with someone else's kids, which is fine, because it's not for everyone, and I wouldn't want to date someone and waste my time, or have someone who doesn't want kids and they harm my kids or resent them or be a problem, or they not understand that my kids have to always come first, and they will always come first. So it's not for the faint of heart. And to me, ideally, it'd be best to date a guy who was also a single parent, or like had children or has children and whatnot, because then they understand the sacrifice that comes with being a parent, and they understand that you're not always gonna be available, and you're always gonna have something to do when it comes to your kids, because you're responsible and you're the sole parent, you know? So it can be hard. And then I get the other crowd of dudes who are like, oh my God, you have twins? I want to be with you. I've always wanted to have twins. Like, that's not a turn on either. Like, that really makes me pump my brakes, and that really makes me take a pause and get a little scared, because I'm like, you don't know me from a can paint. You don't know my kids. I'm not saying be cool with someone that has kids, but the extra excitement, like, that's a bit of a pause and a bit of a red flag for me a little bit, no lie. But I guess it's just excitement, because I know that there's a lot of gays who are single who want families, and they don't know how to go about it, and they don't think it's something they can attain, and they meet someone like me who did it, who wanted it, set a plan, set a goal, and went out there and did it. And that is something that I definitely commend myself for, and it wasn't easy, and it's not easy to do. So I think when some of them meet me, it's like, wow, like someone who did what I want to do, you know, it gives them motivation and hope. So I do understand that, but at the same time, as a parent, as I said in many of my videos, especially my why I don't post my kids video, which I'll link in the description, I am all about protecting my kids. So I can't have no randoms around my kids, dudes I don't trust. I work in the legal field, so I probably would do a low-key private investigator search or something. Like, I need a background check, a criminal background check. What's good? I don't want no criminals, someone who's a sex offender with a sketchy past around my kids. And not even just that, I'm a person who goes off vibes. So I'm going to look at you and look at your character, see how you treat your family, see how you treat your mama, see how you think. That's always my thing. I gotta always see how someone is mentally, how they think, where they're at in their therapy, where they're at in their healing. I need to see all those things, because I am so committed to breaking generational curses, and I don't want to be in an abusive situation or be in a bad relationship around my kids, so my kids have a warped sense of love and relationships. Like, I had to grow up with around so many toxic marriages and relationships of my own and my family and stuff. I don't want them to have to experience that on my account. So always just doing what's best for them. And if that means that my love life is on hold until they're grown and they out my house, then that's honestly a sacrifice I'm willing to take, because I would hate for the latter to happen, that I chose my love life over being a parent, and then God forbid something happens to them or they experience some kind of trauma related to that. Like, I don't want to deal with that, period. So I don't know, like, but dating is a hot mess, especially when you are of a certain age. Middle 30s. It can be a little difficult. And then when you add being a single parent into the mix, it makes things a little bit, no, I'm lying, a lot harder, okay? But I'm good though. I'm at a place in my life where I'm finally content and I'm happy and I'm not searching, and it feels good. And because I'm at that stage, and I'm at that stage of my healing and my growth and loving myself the way I should have always loved myself, when something comes along and it ain't right, I'm not willing to bite, because I'm like, I know what it feels like to be whole already and be full of the love for myself, that I don't need to settle for crumbs. Because when you are hungry and you are starving and you are desperate, anything that these men throw your way, you are going to take the bait because you want it that bad. I'm not there anymore. I love myself. I love my children. They love me back. I have unconditional love. I'm just full, you know? So whatever the future holds, I am open to it, but I'm not pressed. And that's a great feeling to have. So I hope you enjoyed this little discussion, and be sure to like and subscribe. And thank you so much for all of my brand new subscribers. You guys are freaking awesome. And I'm so thankful for your love and your support and all the regular comments every week and the likes. You guys are so awesome. And if no one tells you that you are awesome, I'm telling you today. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. And thank you again for supporting me. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share if you care. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.